Oh, wow. I would say apply, apply, apply.
At the age of 49, Mike Podgorski is older than the average U.S. teaching assistant in the USTA program. As his time in the program drew to a close, we sat down with Mike to talk about his motivation for applying to teach English in Austrian secondary schools and how his age had benefited him in the classroom.
So back in 2015, I had moved to Germany and I was taking intensive language courses, and a Syrian refugee young man sat down next to me. And I kind of started learning a lot about his life and some of the challenges that he was facing. And I was able to help him in a lot of different ways. And I thought, wow, this is really, I'm having a really positive impact on this other person's life. And it sort of taught me what I knew and what I could do for somebody else. And that kind of set me down that path of educational experiences. 9 years later, and Adnan is now married, and he's a German citizen. And so it's really great to be able to see that impact over the long run. And I started working at a museum, Fort Miles Museum in Cape Henlopen State Park in southern Delaware. And I really liked that role as well, working in that educator role. And so there was a colleague of mine who had done Fulbright, who had been a USTA. And that seemed like another one of those avenues to really make a big impact on other people's lives. So I applied and I was accepted. So I kind of thought maybe it would have been my background in IT, but it was actually working as an educator at a museum. It was very surprising, but a lot of the skills that I had to learn to become a historical interpreter, to become a tour guide at this museum, they really ask you to be able to create engagement with your audience, to pique your audience's curiosity. And what I realized when I came here and started working with the students is they actually also have to sort of fulfill a very similar role when they go to perform their matura, which is their leaving exam. And so all of the skills that I had learned were completely transferable over to the position that I was in now. And you're really teaching them to do the thing that I was doing. And so it was just maybe a happy coincidence that happened. But it really was an opportunity for me to take all of what I learned, put it into a quick sheet, and kind of coach them and give them feedback on how to make a more effective presentation. And sort of, in effect, become educators themselves. So I think when you're an older person, and I don't want to say old, I sort of say an older person, you've had a lot more work experiences, life experiences, you're a bit more emotionally mature, you're more confident. And the students, they pick up on that, they can kind of sense it. And they're curious, and I think they're curious about somebody like who is confident and who's been there and done that. And it makes it a lot easier to impart confidence to them as well. And I think what it also does is it facilitates trust. And when you get trust, you get a lot more buy-in a lot faster. And when you get that, you have a much bigger impact. You're much more effective in your job. And I think that's kind of an important skill for any educator to have. Again, sort of revolving around a lot of the ideas that I've been talking about already. I think that it's an incredible opportunity for growth for yourself. I find that because my students are going through a lot of different developmental phases, right? They're being asked to move from like that sort of young adult into being, a fully capacitated adult. They're learning a lot of things, and they actually end up teaching you. And so, in a lot of ways, when you have to teach somebody else, you have to relearn things yourself. You have to open yourself and be curious. And so it's really been a great experience for me, not only to impact the lives of other people in a very positive way, but also for me to join in that growth cycle and develop my own capacities and develop myself. And I think that's really been one of the best opportunities from this. So I would say that the most challenging part of integrating into Austria is, of course, the Viennese dialect. It was funny because a group of my friends from the cohort, we all had parallel experiences, which was we arrived here, we had learned German elsewhere, and what we thought was, oh my gosh, I don't know German at all. And then we heard another speaker or got involved in a conversation from somebody who spoke Hochdeutsch. And all of a sudden you go, oh no, my German's fine. There's this crazy dialect here. So that was a bit, that's definitely still challenging to this day. I think one of the things that really makes Vienna, it makes it a lot easier to enjoy Vienna is the public transportation system. It's convenient, it's quick, it's on time, it's clean. It's just everything that you want, and you can get anywhere very rapidly. Anywhere around the city. So that's been one of those things that I really love. I guess the shorter answer is I think they're a bit more social. They're a bit younger. I think maybe this is another one of those because I'm an older person. I like to have a little bit more time to recharge by myself. I give most of my social energy away during the day to my students. So at nighttime, I need some of that quiet time. So I do get out with them occasionally, but probably not as much as they do. So. Yeah, it's very intense. So where I teach at is known as the Technologisches Gewerbemuseum, and it's the TGM. And it's, from what I understand, the largest school of its type in Austria. We have 3,000 students, 300 teachers. I work with 11 mentor teachers and also about 200 students. And so they don't just graduate with Matura, with their leaving exam and their high school diploma, but they also graduate with a college associate's degree, the equivalent of that. And they're asked to do a lot of things. I'm very surprised at what they're actually asked to do. And so you can kind of feel the tension in the school. But as I said, because we're all sort of going through those intensive developmental experiences, it's a great opportunity for you to grow and to have that impact on other people. And then in addition, of course, while you're working alongside the students, you're also getting the opportunity to work alongside, and in my case, 11 mentor teachers has been fantastic because you learn a lot of different things from them to make you even more effective as an educator. So yeah, it's been a great experience. What comes next? So the job that I have been hired for, or chosen for, I should say, with the U.S. federal government, it's through the National Defense University. And I'm working for this program. And what they do is they bring together academics and professional military experts in order to share that knowledge. And I think that working within that role to help facilitate that is a little similar to what you do when you're working with students. You're sharing knowledge. You're trying to capacitate or facilitate the development of knowledge bases. And so I think it just feels like moving from here to there is maybe a natural progression in this step. And who knows, there might be another experience after that. So we'll see. Oh, wow. I would say apply. Give yourself a chance, apply if you have any desire for experiences where you get to have a really great impact on somebody else's life, where you're interested in not only helping somebody else to develop and reach their goals, but to help you go through a phase of development and to grow. If you're looking for leadership opportunities, this is really, it's a great opportunity. And even beyond that, it's another great opportunity to engage and experience other cultures as well. So yeah, that would, my advice once again is apply.